Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshaya Putale Srimate Bhakti-vaibhava Swami Namane Namaste Saraswata Deva Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Vedanta Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakti Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare सर्वशास्त्राधिपीयूष सर्ववेदिक सत्फला सर्वसिद्धान्तरत्नाढ्यः सर्वलोकैकतप्रदा सर्वभागवत प्राण श्रीमद्भागवत प्रभो कलिध्वान्तोदितादित्य श्रीकृष्ण परिवर्तिता परमानंद पाठाय प्रेमवर्षिक्षरायते सर्वदा सर्वसेव्या श्रीकृष्णाय नमोस्तु मे अनेक बंधो मत्संगिन मद्गुरो महाधन मन्निस्तार्ग मद्भाग्य मदानंद नमोस्तुते असाधु साधुतादाय नते चोच्चताकर हानुमंच कदाचिन्मां प्रेम्णा सत्कण्ठयोस्फुरा नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. I'll read out the verse 3.8.26 and its translation, and then we'll go back to the commentaries. पुंसां स्वकामाय विविक्तमार्गैरभ्यर्च्यतां कामदुधाङ्घ्रिपद्मम् प्रदर्शयन्तं कृपया नखेन्दुं मयूखभिन्नाङ्गुलिचारुपत्रम्. The Lord showed his lotus feet by raising them. His lotus feet are the source of all awards achieved by those who worship him in pure devotion service, free from all material contamination. Splendid transcendental rays emanated from his moon-like toenails and the nails of his petal-like fingers. Where is this? 26. स्वकामाय स्व अभिलषित फलाय विविक्त मार्गैः विविक्तैः शुद्धैः वेद उक्तैः मार्गैः अभ्यर्चताम् आराधयतां पुंसां जनानां सम्बन्धे नखेन्दु मयूख भिन्नाङ्गुलि चारुपत्रम्. नखा एव इन्दवः तेषां मयूखाः रश्मयः तैः भिन्नाः संभिन्नाः प्रकाशिताः अङ्गुलयः एव चारुणि पत्राणि यस्य तत्. कामदुगाङ्घ्रिपद्मं कामदुघं भक्तवाञ्छापूरकम् अङ्घ्रिपद्मं चरणकमलं कृपया प्रदर्शयन्तं किञ्चित् उन्नमय्य समर्पयन्तं पुरुषम् अपश्यत् इति अनुषङ्गः. So he saw that person who had slightly raised his lotus feet out of his mercy. That lotus feet, it fulfills the desires of his devotees. That lotus feet is worshipped by various pure, through various pure pathways for their own motives. For them, the splendid transcendental rays are experienced as coming from his moon-like toenails and the nails of his petal-like fingers. This verse is very beautiful. This whole series of verses is very, very nice. Just from the perspective of Sanskrit poetry also. Okay. Sanatana Goswami has given a very interesting remark. So, kamaya bhagavat praptaye. The devotees in this regard are those who want to attain eternal, uninterrupted, unmotivated service to Bhagavan himself. Vivikta margaihi indicates that they are engaged in various modes of devotional service like hearing, shravanam, kirtanam, chanting and so on. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has integrated both the meanings for Swakamaya. Vivittaihi. Another nice meaning is given. Swasya Bhagavatah Kamaya. Sevabhihi Bhagavantam Sukhitum va. Swakamaya also indicates that there were devotees who were worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord simply to make him happy through their services. Vivittaihi. ज्ञान कर्माद्य मिश्रत्वेन शुद्धैहि मार्गैहि वैध रागादिभिः दास्य सख्यादि भाव मार्गैहि वा. And they were worshipping those lotus feet in a pure manner. That means without being contaminated by the processes of jnana karma, and through different pathways, which indicates the pathway of Vaidhi Bhakti, Raga Bhakti, etc., or with various moods of servitude, friendship, and so on. Kama dukham seva upayogi manoratha purakam. The Supreme Lord's lotus feet are described as that which can award all desired fruits, which means that those lotus feet can fulfill all the cherished desires pertaining to services. One may have various desires to serve the Supreme Lord in particular ways. This is a reference to that. Anghri Padmam Sahasrapada Padmanam Madhye Eva Ekam Kinchit Unnamaya Pradashayanta. So the Supreme Lord, he has thousands of heads, thousands of hands, thousands of feet also. So one particular lotus feet amongst those thousands of lotus feet, he slightly lifted it and mercifully showed it. पादपद्म इति उत्तरश्लोके मुखेन इति एकवचनलिङ्गेन भङ्ग्या अत्रैव प्रस्तावे पुंसाम् इत्यादि श्लोकत्रय्या श्रीकृष्णावतारदर्शनमेव ब्रह्मणे दर्शितम्. He says that factually speaking, Lord Brahma saw Lord Sri Krishna. He saw this particular incarnation of Lord Sri Krishna. Tadu hovacha brahmano asau. What is this? Why is Chittavan Prabhu is not? Oh. And then he quotes as evidence Gopalatapani Upanishad and the discussion found in Brahma Samhita. Tadu hovacha brahmano asau annavaratam me dhyatastutah paradhante so buddhyate gopavesho me purastat avir babhuva. So Brahma, he realized after a long period of time when he had meditated and when he had prayed for mercy, at the end of aparadha, which means half of Brahma's life, after half of Brahma's life, he understood that this person has the appearance of a cowherd boy. तस्यैव मदनगोपाल स्वरूपस्य त्रिभंग मूर्तेः व्यत्यस्य पादस्य दक्षिणचरण पद्म उन्नमन दृष्टे इति केचिदाहु. So there are some authorities who say that this is he specifically saw the form of the threefold bended form of Madana Gopala, and he saw his right lotus feet. महेन्द्रमयूख एव भिन्ना सभिन्ना एव चारुणी पत्राणि यस्य तत् पद्मस्यास्य चंद्ररश्मि विकसितत्वात् अद्भुतत्वमुक्तम्. This vision was very wonderful because the feet are compared to lotuses and still they emanate moon rays. The Lord fulfills the desires of everyone just as one desires. Pure devotees are interested in achieving the transcendental service of the Lord, which is not different from Him. Therefore, the Lord is the only desire of the pure devotees, and devotion service is the only spotless process for achieving His favor. Rupa Goswami says in his Bhakti Rasamrita 1:11 that pure devotion service is Jnana Karma Jnanavritam. Pure devotional service is without any tinge of speculative knowledge or fruitive activities. Such devotional service is able to award the pure devotee the highest result, namely direct association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. According to the Gopala Tapani Upanishad, the Lord showed one of the many thousands of petals of his lotus feet. In that Upanishad, it is also said, Brahmano sa vanavratam me dhyatastutah paradhante sobhudyate gopavesho me prastad avirbhapuva. After meditating for millions of years, Lord Brahma could understand the transcendental form of the Lord as Sri Krishna in the dress of a covered boy. Thus, Brahma recorded his experience in the Brahma Samhita, the famous prayer whose verses end with the words Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Okay. 27. मुखेन लोकार्ति हरस्मितेन परिस्फुरत् कुण्डलमण्डितेन शोणायितेन धरबिम्ब भासा प्रत्यर्हयन्तं सुन्नसेन सुभ्वा. With his beautiful smile, the Lord acknowledged the service of the devotees and vanquished their distress. His face was so pleasing, reflecting his dazzling earrings, and the rays emanating from his lips and enhanced by the beauty of his nose and eyebrows. लोकार्तिहर स्मितेन लोक दुःख विनाशकं स्मितम् ईशित हास्यं यस्मिन् तेन परिस्फुरत् कुण्डलमण्डितेन परिस्फुरद्भ्यां दीप्तिमद्भ्यां कुण्डलाभ्यां मण्डितेन भूषितेन शोणायितेन रक्तवर्णविशिष्टेन अधरबिम्बभासा अधरबिम्बदीप्त्या सुनसेन शोभननासायुक्तेन सुभ्रुवा शोभनया भ्रुवा च मुखेन प्रत्यर्हयन्तं पूजकान् प्रतिपूजयन्तं सम्मानयन्तं पुरुषम् अपश्यत्. So he saw this person who was reciprocating with his worshippers by counter worshipping them with honor, uh, by showing his lotus face, which is now being described here. Though that face, uh, in that face there were beautiful eyebrows, there was a beautiful nose, his lips were reddish, blood red, shonayitena, blood red. It was decorated with shining earrings, and he was also smiling. That face also exhibited a smile, which destroys the distress of the words. Om Padacharitam Shobhana Sayitam Subhva Shobhanaya Vacha Pratyarhentam Pujakan Prati Pujayantam Samanayantam Pratyarhentam Pujakam Stan Prati Pujayantam Bhoga Apavargadehi Taihi Bhaktaihi Asvikarat Tena Eva Tatseva Rinam Parishodhayantam Iva Ityarthaha. Shna Chakravarti Thakur has brought out an interesting point. He says, He says that uh, because these pure devotees do not accept sense enjoyment, liberation, and so on, the Supreme Lord reciprocated by worshipping them, uh, as if he was trying to clear his debt of having received services from them. Arti dukkhamatram tad darshana utkanthya pida va arti dukkhamatram lokartihara smiten. By his smile, he vanquished the distress of his devotees. What is that distress? That distress is their great eagerness, their painful eagerness to see him. Okay, Achutram Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, my question is from yesterday's section, verse number 20 and 21. In verse 20, it is said that Brahmaji, he was tracing the lotus stem and then he reached his eternal time, ultimate time. So I could not understand this
Yes,
expression.
he did
Reached
not.
his.
He did not attain uh, the end of his duration of life. Rather, he attained the end of the duration of life of human beings. Time is going to attack everyone, including Lord Brahma's body. So it is not wrong to refer to time as his ultimate time. But the length of that time is also specified in that verse. Purushayusha. It is referring to the duration of a human being. That amount of time. It's just a poetic way of saying that he went on searching for uh, the life of a human being. And because it is spoken in Kali Yuga, it refers to 100 years of a human being.
And in next verse 21, it is said that he, after failing, he concentrated his mind on Supreme Lord. But how was he knowing about the Supreme Lord? Because he doesn't know about himself, doesn't know about anything of that lotus. So how he was knowing Supreme Lord and how he started concentrating his mind on him?
It came very, we were reading that Jiva Goswami says that whoever may be, whatever may be the cause, may that supreme cause be merciful and reveal everything. With that prayer, he was engaged in austerity.
Okay, okay, bro. Thank you, bro.
Okay. Devotional service to the Lord is very much obliging to Him. There are many transcendentalists in different fields of spiritual activities, but devotional service to the Lord is unique. Devotees do not ask anything from the Lord in exchange for their service. Even the most desirable liberation is refused by devotees, although offered by the Lord. Thus, the Lord becomes a kind of debtor to the devotees, and he can only try to repay the devotee service with his ever enchanting smile. The devotees are ever satisfied by the smiling face of the Lord, and they become enlivened. And by seeing the devotee so enlivened, the Lord himself is further satisfied. So there's a continuous transcendental competition between the Lord and his devotees by such a reciprocation of service and acknowledgement. 28. Kadamba kinjalka pishanka vasasa swalankritam me kalayanitambe harena chananta dhanena vatsa Srivatsa Vakshasthalavallabhena. O my dear Vidura, the Lord's waist was covered with yellow cloth, resembling the saffron dust of the Kadamba flower, and it was encircled by a well-decorated belt. His chest was decorated with the Srivatsa mark and a necklace of unlimited value. Hey Vatsa, Vidura, O my dear child Vidura, Kadamba Kinjalka Pishanga Vasasa, Kadamba Keshara Vat Pishangam Pitam Yat Vasaha Tena Mekhalaya Cha Nitambe Swalankritam. On his waist was a cloth that was as yellow as the saffron dust of the Kadamba flower. It was also covered with a belt, waist belt, Mekhala, Chanitambe Swalankritam. अनंत धनेन अनर्घ्येन श्रीवत्स वक्षस्थल वल्लभेन श्रीवत्स युक्तम यत् वक्षस्थलम तस्य वल्लभेन प्रियेण हारेण च स्वलंकृतं सुशोभितं पुरुषम अपश्य इत्यादि. So he saw this person who was most beautiful and who was nicely decorated with a necklace that was very dear to his chest, which was marked by the Srivatsa. Already incorporated in the Anvaya. 29. Paradhya Keyura Manipraveka Paryast Dodanda Sahasra Shakham Avyaktamulam Bhunangri Pendram Ahindra Bhogair Adhivita Valsham. As a sandalwood tree is decorated with fragrant flowers and branches, the Lord's body was decorated with valuable jewels and pearls. He was a self-situated tree, the Lord of all others in the universe. And as a sandalwood tree is covered with many snakes, so the Lord's body was also covered by the hoods of Anantadeva. Paradhya Keyura Mani Praveka Paryasta Dordanda Sahastra Shakha. Paradhyani, Shreshthani, Keyurani, Angadani. Here, Keyura refers to various like armlets. Manipraveka, Maniuttama cha Taih Paryasta, Vyapta, Dordanda, Jadanda eva Sahasram, Ananta, Shakha, Yasyatam Chandana Vrikshopi, Keyuradi Tulyehi, Palapushpadibhi, Vyapta Shakha Bhavati. Just as a Chandana tree is has several branches that are as good as these jewels, these ornaments, and so on. In the form of that, fruits, flowers, and so on. So this comparison is made. That he is like a thousand branched Chandana Vriksha, Dordanda. Dordanda. This is all very commonly used in Sanskrit poetry. Dor refers to arms, and when the arm is straight like a stick, it's considered very beautiful. These are all standards of beauty in Vedic culture. Avyaktam moolam, avyaktam pradhanam moolam, adho yasya yadva brahmadi vyakti rupatva, avyaktam brahma moolam yasya tam vrikshasya api moolam na vyaktam. And his root was not visible. Here, Avyakta refers to Pradhana. So the bottom portion was this Pradhana, which is not visible. How is it rendered here? Avyakta Moolam. self-situated. Self-situated. So he himself is his own root. That's what it means. Bhunangripa Indram. Bhunani Angrina Charnena Pati Rakshati iti Bhunangripaha. Taha cha asau Indraha. Sarveshwaraha cha iti tam. Vrikshapakshe Bhunatmakam. Angripendram Vrikshashreshtham. The very verse is constructed in such a way as to have a double meaning. In some of the words are actually referring to this Chandana tree metaphor. And at the same time, it is referring to the Supreme Lord who he was seeing. Ahindra Bohe Adivita Valsham. Ahindrasya Anantasya Bhogaihi Anaihi Deha Avayavaihi Va Adhivitaha Samveshtita Spushtaha Valshaha Skandhaha Yasyutta. So this Anantashesha, he was all over the Lord's body. Chandana api sarpaihi veshtitaha bhavati. Chandana api sarpaihi veshtitaha bhavati. The Chandana vriksha also is surrounded by snakes. Ataha vrikshashreshtam chandana vrikshmaiva tam apashyat iti anushanga. So he saw him like an excellent tree, a sandalwood tree. Mahachandana vriksharupakena nirupayitam tam vishinashti. So he is giving the metaphor of a very great sandal tree. Avyaktamoolam ityatra avyaktam pradhanam moolam adhobhaga yasya iti artha. Punangripendram, according to Jiva Goswami, indicates that the 14 worlds were protected by his lotus feet. And he was their Lord and controller. Another meaning of Avyaktamoolam. Na vyajyate shastra vidbhihi na kathyate moolam yasya tam sarva moolattvena moolantarhitam. Okay, from this is where Prabhupada is getting self-situated. Nobody knows what is the root of the Supreme Lord, because he is the root of everything. And he is devoid of any other root. Avyaktaha swayam bhagavan tanmoolam iti va. Otherwise, Avyakta can refer to the Supreme Lord himself, and he is the root of himself. Bhuvana rupanam ankripanam indram ishwaram. Swayasha saurabha suvasita sarva vishwatva mahachandana vriksharupagena nirupitam tam vishinishti. Now he characterizes the Lord as a great chandana vriksha, sandal tree, because by the fragrance of his glory, he has made the entire Vishwa universe nicely fragrant. Avyaktam vyanjanayapi kaihi api na uttam moolam anaditvat yasyatu. Even through a vyanjana or a hint, no learned authority has spoken about him having a cause because he is beginningless. Yaduktam, as it has been stated. So Atma, Swa Ashraya Ashrayaha, that Supreme Soul, is the shelter of his own shelter. Vrikshapakshe Spashtam. Okay. Here, Indra, here, Indra. This indicates that he is filled with opulence. He is the opulent possessor and controller of the 14 worlds, which are very much under his control. The word Avyaktamulam is significant here. Generally, no one can see the roots of a tree, but as far as the Lord is concerned, he is the root of himself because there is no other separate cause of his standing but him. In the Vedas, it is said that the Lord is Swa Ashraya Ashraya. He is his own support, and there is no other support for him. Therefore, Avyakta means the Supreme Lord himself and no one else. Yes.
Prabhu, this question is usually asked many a times, especially by atheists, that who created God when they discuss the origin, and when they are told that he is like he is the root of himself, they are unable to digest it. So, is there a better answer for them, or what can be said if someone wants to get convinced? If an atheist is open that you please convince me about God, what better answer can I get?
How there are signs of intelligent design in this world. There are signs of intelligent design in this world. So how will you deal with that? It's not too difficult to deal with. Even in the Nyaya system, they came up with so many arguments on the existence of God purely on logical basis. Purely on logical basis. In the Vedanta system, that is the Nyaya. In the six darshanas, there's Nyaya Darshana. We are a parallel line, Vedanta Darshana. We are in a separate line. In Vedanta Darshana, we say very strongly that Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan cannot be understood logically. So Ramanujacharya explains that through logic you can come to the conclusion that the universe has been designed. At least that much can be proved. But the nature of that designer, whether it is one designer or whether it's a well-coordinated team of several designers, these things and all you cannot understand through logic. For that, you have to look out for revelation from uh, the designer of the universe, designer or designers. So therefore, you have to listen to Apaurushaya Shabda or the Veda. But the basic point that the world has been designed, there are a number of arguments. They've come up with very, very sophisticated arguments, smashing atheism. Very interesting, sophisticated arguments. In today's world also, there are a number of religious scientists who are coming up with similar set of arguments. The world has been designed, intelligently designed.
So when this question is raised that who created God, can we say that that question itself is wrong because he exists beyond time?
He is the undesigned designer. There are certain questions themselves which are absurd. For instance, how many corners are there in a circle? A circle has no corners. So there are some questions which are absurd. In fact, even common people, they know. They'll tell you there are no answer to a a good man, suppose a good man is asked, why did you beat your wife yesterday? What is he supposed to say? Suppose he's a non-violent husband. But a question is asked like this: why did you beat your wife yesterday? He never beat his wife. There's no answer to this question like this. Okay, let's move on. 30. चराचरौ को भगवन् महीन्द्रम् अहीन्द्रबन्धुं सलिलोपगूढम् किरीटसहस्र हिरण्यशृङ्गम् आविर्भवत् कौस्तुभरत्नगर्भम्. Like a great mountain, the Lord stands as the abode for all moving and non-moving living entities. He is the friend of the snakes because Lord Ananta is his friend. As a mountain has thousands of golden peaks, so the Lord was seen with the thousands of golden helmeted hoods of Anantanaga. And as a mountain is sometimes filled with jewels, so also his transcendental body was fully decorated with valuable jewels. As a mountain is sometimes submerged in the ocean water, so the Lord is sometimes submerged in the water of devastation. Charachara okah, char acharanam okah sthanam, parvatah api tatha. He was the shelter of the moving and non-moving beings. A mountain also is the shelter of moving and non-moving beings. Salilopagudham, Salila Upagudham, Salilena Avratam, Parvataha api Mainaka Adihi Tatha. He was fully covered with water. There are mountains like the Mainaka, which are covered fully in water. There are underwater mountains. Ahindra Bandhu, Ahindrasya Anantasya Bandhu, Parvataha api Sarpanam Bandhu. He was a friend of Ananta, the king of the serpents. Mountain, the mountain is also a friend of serpents. Kirita Sahasra Hiranya Shringam. Kirita Sahasrameva Hiranya Shringani. Yasyattam Parvatapi Meruadihi Tatha. He had thousands of uh, helmets. He had several golden, gold helmeted. He had several helmets, and all of them were gold. The mountain also, like Meru, uh, mountains like Meru, they also have thousands of peaks. And they're gold also. Avirbhavat Kaustubha Ratna Garbham. यथा पर्वतस्य गर्भे क्वचित् रत्नम् आविर्भवति तथा आविर्भवत् स्पष्टं दृश्यमानं कौस्तुभरत्नं गर्भे मूर्ति मध्ये यस्य तम्. And in the midst of his form there was this jewel of Kaustubha which was very clearly visible. Now just like in the midst or within the mountain also there are gems. Bhagavan Mahidram, Bhagavaneva Mahidra Parvatah Tam Apashyat Ityarsham. So he saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead who resembled a mountain. Preksham Chipantam iti atra eva parvata rupakena nirupatimapi visheshana antaraihi punan nirupayati. Even though he has already been described as a mountain, through a different set of characteristics, again he describes him as a mountain. चंदन वृक्षरूपकत्वेन निरूप्य स्वस्य आश्रय अपि स्वमेव इति दर्शयितुं Chandana Parvata Rupakena api nirupayati. So he has immediately just now described him as a sandalwood tree. And though he is his own shelter, he wanted to show himself to Brahma. Therefore, he is now being described as a sandal mountain. Bhagavan eva mahidrham malayagiri. Here, Bhagavan is compared to a sandalwood mountain, sandal mountain, like Malayagiri. Avirbhavat Kaustuba Ratna Garbham. Very interesting. Here, everywhere he is comparing it to the Malaya mountain, Malaya hill. For instance, it has peaks which have the color of gold. And it says that the Malaya Parvata has mines that have gems within them. 31. Nivitamamnaya madhuvrata swakirtimaya vanamalaya harim suryendu vayuvagninyagamam tridhamabhi parikramat pradhanikay durasadam. Lord Brahma, thus looking upon the Lord in the shape of a mountain, concluded that he was Hari, the personality of Godhead. Brahma saw the garland of flowers on the Lord's chest, glorified him with Vedic wisdom and sweet songs, and looked very beautiful. He was protected by the Sudarshan wheel for fighting, and even the sun, moon, air, fire, etc., could not have access to him. Okay, now, so question here: the devotees are ever satisfied by the smiling face of the Lord. Who is seeing the Lord smile? Who is seeing the devotees in Prema Bhakti? They are satisfied by seeing the lotus face of the Lord smiling. I can't see anything like that, obviously, because we are not in Krishna Prema. That's our problem. How can we get those arguments? What arguments? These are the arguments about creation. Ask me in Telegram. I'll start giving some pointers. Even the sun, moon, air, fire, etc., could not have access to him. They could not have access to him means they cannot meet him whenever they want. The presiding deities of sun, moon, air, fire, etc. They cannot meet him whenever they want. Okay. आम्नाय मधुव्रतश्रिया आम्नायाः वेदाः एवं मधुव्रताः भ्रमराः तैः श्रीः यस्याः तया स्वकीर्तिमय्या वनमालया कंठलंबिन्या निगीतं व्याप्तं. So the Lord's chest had a long garland of flowers, and he looked very beautiful with the bumblebees that were actually the Vedas. That very Vanamala, forest flower garland around his neck, that itself was an embodiment of his glory. Suryendu Vayu Vagyagamam, Suryadivihi Agamam Agamyam. Surya and the other demigods, they could not reach him. Tridhamabhi, Trishu api lokeshu dhama smrtihi, yesham taihi, parikramat pradhanikaihi, rakshanartham parikramadbhihi, paritaha dhavadbhihi, pradhanikaihi, pradhanam, sangramaha, tat prayojanaihi, sudarshanadibihi, hetubhutaihi, durasadam, dushprapam. He could not be reached because he was surrounded by Sudarshana and other exalted weapons which are constantly circumambulating him to protect him. Harim Parvatadirupam apashyat harihi asau iti yadava. So now he understood that this is Lord Hari. Hare Rasa iti gyatavan. He understood this is Lord Hari. Tridhamabhi Sachidananda Swarupaihi Rakshanartham Parikramabhi. These weapons, uh, they were shining divyadbhi, and they had three features: Sat, Chit, and Ananda. There were also others, his associates such as Jaya and Vijaya. Because of all of them, he could not be accessed uh, whenever someone wanted to access it. 32. Tarhyeva tannabhi sarasarojam atmanamambhashvasanam viyaccha radarsha devo jagato vidhata natah param loka visarga drishti. When Lord Brahma, the maker of the universal destination, thus saw the Lord, he simultaneously glanced over creation. Lord Brahma saw the lake in Lord Vishnu's navel and the lotus flower, as well as the devastating water, the drying air, and the sky. All became visible to him. Tarhi eva yada eva harim apashyata tada eva. At that very moment, when he saw Lord Hari, loka visarga drishtihi, loka srishtau drishtishilaha, he became capable of seeing how to create this world, how to engage in this uh, creation of this world, secondary creation. Jagatah vidhata srashta devah brahma तन्नाभि सरः सरोजम तस्य हरेः नाभि सरसि तो योनिं सरोजम आत्मानं स्वम अंधः सलिलं श्वसनं प्रबल वायुं वियत् आकाशं च ददर्श दृष्टवान्. So at that time, the creator, Lord Brahma, he saw, he then suddenly saw different things. He saw the lotus, which was uh, the cause for his birth. He saw that that was on the uh, lake-like navel of Lord Hari. Then he saw himself clearly. He saw the waters. He saw the strong wind. He saw Akasha, the sky. Atah param na etebhya anyat kimapi adarsha. And then he could not see anything beyond that. Something wrong here. What is this? Yadi avam. Wait.
Krishna Prabhu, are you speaking something?
You're echoing. Wait, I'm opening Sridhar Swami. Trying to find out there's a spelling mistake here. 3.7, 3.8, 3.8.32. Yadaivam. What is here? Yadaivam. Should be like this. Yadaivam harima pashyat tarkyeva tadaiva loka srishti drishti sounds. What is wrong with that also? Drishti son. Vishnu Satyat's missing. Oh, Pralayavayu. Pralayavayu. We saw the wind of destruction. अतः परम सृष्टि उपकरणम नातः परम लोक विसर्ग दृष्टि नातः परम पृथ्वी आदि. Okay, okay. He did not see the various elements. He only saw this much. He did not see the elements such as earth, with which he could begin creation. But he developed the desire to engage in the activity of creation. 33. Sakarma bijam rajasoparakta prajah sasrikshan yadev drishtva astod visargavi mukhastamidhyam avyaktavartmanyabhideshitatma. Lord Brahma, thus being surcharged with the mode of passion, became inclined to create. And after seeing the 5 causes of creation indicated by the personality of Godhead, he began to offer his respectful prayers on the path of the creative mentality. Saha Brahma Rajasa Uparaktaha Rajoguna Yuktaha. So that Brahma, he became endowed, he became afflicted, or not afflicted, became filled with Rajoguna. Ataha Prajaha Sasrikshan Svashtumichan, and therefore he had the desire to create the living creatures. He wanted to do the needful to have these living entities in their gross bodies and so on. Iyateva nabhi sarojadi panchakam eva karma bijam loka srishteh karanam drishtva. So then he saw only these 5 causes of creation: the lotus, navel, and so on. Avalokya visarga abhimukha tapta chittaha abhi. And though he had fixed his mind to engage in the activity of visarga, avyakta vartmani abhiveshitatma, avyakta vartmani bhagavati niveshita chittasan, and his mind, then he fixed his mind on Bhagavan, whose ways are transcendental. Tam idyam pujyam bhagavantam astau stuva. Then he offered prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is worthy of being worshipped with such prayers. Karma bijam, loka srishteh karanam. Karma bijam refers to the 5 causes of creation. Rajasa yuktaha san prajah srishtumaichat. Visargam kathamaham kuryam iti bhavaya. Lord Brahma, he began to think, now how will I engage in the activity of visarga? Prabhumeva aham sharanam yami. Let me simply take shelter of the Lord, my master. thinking like this, Visarga Abhinivesham Paratyajya, then he gave up his obsession to engage in Visarga immediately. Avyakta Vartmani Shri Bhagavati Abhiniveshita Atma Mano Yasisa, and he fixed his mind, he fully fixed his mind on Sri Bhagavan, whose ways are transcendental. Even if one is in the material mode of passion, to create something in the world, he has to take shelter of the Supreme for the necessary energy. That is a path of the successful termination of any attempt. Brahma's prayers for creative energy. 1. Brahmovacha. Jyatosi medyas sucharan nanu dekha bhajam न ज्ञायते भगवतो गतिरित्यवद्यम् नान्यत्वदस्ति भगवन्नपि तन्न शुद्धम् माया गुणं व्यतिकरात् यदुरुर्विभासि. Lord Brahma said, "Oh my Lord, today, after many, many years of penance, I have come to know about you. Oh, how unfortunate the embodied living entities are that they are unable to know your personality. My Lord, you are the only knowable object because there's nothing supreme beyond you. If there is anything supposedly superior to you, it is not the absolute. You exist as the supreme by exhibiting the creative energy of matter." Sri Brahma Vacha. Sri Brahma said, Suchirat, Bahukala Upasanena, Adya Sampratam me Maya Gyataha Asi. After a long period of time of me meditating upon you, today, that means now, you have been known by me. I have gotten to know you. Nano Aho. Oh, Dekhabhajam, Dekhadharinam Jivanam iti etat avadyam doshaha. It is the defect of the jivas who have bodies. It's a conditioned jivas, embodied souls. Yat taihi bhagavataha tavagatihi tattvam na jyayate. That they are not able to understand your movements. They are not able to understand your truth. The truth about Bhagavan. Hey Bhagavan, O Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tvat tvattaha anyat tattvam nasti. There is no truth other than you. Yadapi asti iti pratibhati tadapi, even though it appears to be so, shuddham satyam na kamana vishayatvat kshaishnutvarcha na upadeyam bhavati. There is no pure entity which is worthy of being accepted as something desirable, because everything is perishable here. Yataha maya gunam vyatikarat maya gunak shobhat tvameva uruhu kurupa vibhasi. Because it is you yourself who appear in various forms by the agitation of the modes of maya. Navame tapasa tushtam drishtva narayanam tu ajaha astau ekarnavesidan lokasarga chikirshaya. The ninth chapter, uh, the unborn Lord Brahma, when he saw that Lord Narayana was satisfied by his austerities, he offered prayers while he was in that single ocean with the desire to engage in the creation of the worlds. Bhagavad Gyanena Atmanaha Krithasatam Avishkurvan Akyamscha Shochannaha Gyatosi. He considered himself successful because he had attained knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he revealed that gratitude that he experienced, that he was shown the Supreme Lord. And then he lamented about those who do not have knowledge about the Lord. katham asatah pratitah. Why is it that you are seen as matter? That is simply because of the agitation of the modes of Maya. Jiva Goswami, Gyatah asi iti, Agyane kahani. What is wrong with uh, being in ignorance of me? Anticipating this question, Lord Brahma, he says, he says this. Dehevajam na gyayate bhagavato gatirithyavadyam. Gatihi, Swarupata Shaktyadirupastitihi. They do not know about the position of the Supreme Lord, his nature, his potencies. ननु तादृशमद्गतेः अन्यच्च प्रतीयते तत्रः तादृशात् त्वत् त्वत्तः अन्यत् तत्त्वं नास्ति इति. But then it seems that something else is perceived by everyone other than me. So then in response to that he says there's actually nothing, no truth beyond you. Yadva asti. All right, I can accept that it exists. There is a truth which is apart from you. Tadapi na shuddham, but it is not pure. Kintu tvameva shuddham tattvam ityartha. You are the only pure truth. Vetrapi hetuhu. And the cause for both of that is maya gunam gatikara. Because of the agitation, because of the mixture of the modes of the material energy. That is the reason for this not clear perception of the Supreme Lord. Ananta vaibhavamaya antarangaya shaktya swatah shuddha eva tvam. You are actually pure by yourself, by dint of your internal potency, which contains unlimited opulent manifestations. Jagadrupena yadurur vibhasi. And then you appear to be many in the form of this world. Tat khalu bahirangaya maya akhyaya pradhana rupaya swiya dravya shaktehe gunanam vyatikara parinamadeva bhasi. Or you appear to be so by dint of your external maya potency uh, in the form of pradhana. Pradhana is referred to as maya. And that is also because of the transformation of the modes of your own potency in the form of the ingredient of this world. Na tatra shuddham tvamati bhava. The implication is there is nothing pure there. Chakravarti Thakur. Garbhodashayinam swa antaryaminam navame vidhi stutva tasya kripa vrishtya samarthyam prapasrishtaye. In the 9th chapter, Vidhi. Vidhi is the name of Brahma. He offers prayers to his inner ruler, to his super soul, Garbhodakashayi. And by the shower of the grace of Lord Garbhodakashayi, Brahma attained the capacity to engage in creation. Bhagavad Kripal Labdham. Okay, wait, there's a question here. Achyutanam.
Prabhuji, in 33rd verse, the 5 causes for creation was mentioned. So these 5 causes are Lord's navel, drying air, devastating. Are these the 5 causes?
Yeah. There are actually other causes also, but he only saw this much. Like the gross elements are required. There's so many other things which are needed for the creation, but he did not see all that at that time. It's just a snapshot description. At that time, what did he see? Okay.
Yes.
Bhagavad kripa labdham tadiya sakshatkar eka karanam Bhagavad jnanameva bhaved iti pradarshanaha gyatah asit. The knowledge of Bhagavan, which is attained by the mercy of Bhagavan, is the one and only cause for direct experience of Bhagavan and everything pertaining to him. This is now shown in this verse. मे मया अद्य त्वं ज्ञातः सुचिरात् बहुकालं त्वदीय ध्यानं कुर्वता अपि इति अर्थः. Even though I meditated so much on you for a long period of time, only today I am able to know you. Know you means know you, understand you, realize you, experience you. ईदृश सौन्दर्यस्य तव मया कदापि अध्यानात् ध्यानदशायां भगवन्तम् अहं ज्ञात्वा एव ध्येयामि इति. हन्त हन्त वृथा एव ज्ञान अभिमानः कृतः तथा ध्यातरूप एव प्रभुर्मे दर्शनं ददातु इति आशांसा अपि वृथा एव कृता इति ध्वनिः. This kind of beauty I had never meditated upon. I had falsely assumed proudly that I am meditating on you after knowing you. But actually, that is simply useless because even my hope or desire that let this Lord, whom I am meditating on, whose form I am meditating on, let him show him to me. Even that hope has become useless. Yataha, because idrisha saundaryasya leshe api mahamarakat neelotvala nava nirada adishu na asti iti tatha rupataya tvam dhyatah api ईदृश रूपतया प्रत्यक्ष अभूः इति तव कृपायाः माहात्म्यम् अनिर्वाच्यमिति अनध्वनि. Because this amount of beauty, even a small fragment or small bit of this amount of beauty, I had not does not exist in the great emerald or in the blue lotus or in the fresh cloud and so on. But I had meditated on you as being as beautiful as like this. So even though you are like this and you have shown yourself to me like this, which is quite distinct from what I had meditated on, this is simply proof that your glory, the glory of your mercy, is beyond description. स्वयं तन्माधुर्य आस्वादनम् अनुभूय तद् अनुभविनः परान् शोचति. While he is experiencing the relish of the sweetness of the Lord personally, he laments about those who do not experience this. Dehavajam praninam iti eva avadyam dosha. This is the defect of the living creatures who have bodies, gross bodies. Kim tat, gross body, subtle body, everyone, all these the living creatures, conditioned souls. Kim tat, what is their defect? Bhagavatah tava gatihi tattvam na jnayate. They do not know about the truth of you, Bhagavan. ईदृश सौंदर्य माधुर्यादिकं न अनुभूयते देहभाजाम. These embodied creatures do not experience such beauty, sweetness, and so on. इति देहधारणस्य भजनमेव फलम्. Having a body is actually meant to lead one to the result of engaging in devotion service to you. Yasmadeva etadrisham swarupam anubhavitum shakyate iti. The implication is because only then they will become capable of experiencing such a beautiful feature as you. Nano vichitre jagati anyadapi kim idrisham atimadhuram anubhavaniyam vastu nasti yataha asya agyane dehinam avadyam ravihi. Are you saying? So then he anticipates that the Lord says, isn't there anything else which is extremely sweet like this in this variegated world that is meant to be experienced and relished, in ignorance of which you say that these embodied souls are in a defective situation. Then he says, Satraha, Tvataha Anyat Nasti, Yat Kila, Jnanartham Padayam Ityartha. There's nothing beyond you which is meant to be experienced. Bhagavanniti Bhagavatvat, to Anyatra Nasti. Because you are Bhagavan, there's nothing apart from you. Bhagashabda Vachyan Nikhila Prakrita Saundarya Kirtyadini Vina Na eva netra karnadi bhogyam vastu asti iti bhava. Now the word Bhagavan contains the word Bhaga. Bhaga refers to all kinds of non-material or transcendental beauties, glories, and so on. There is nothing meant to be relished by the ears, eyes, and so on, apart from that those transcendental beauties, glories, and so on, which are referred to by the word bhaga. This is the implication. Nanu sarvendriya bhogyam swargasukhameva asti. Then he anticipates another question from the Lord. Isn't there the happiness of swarga, which uh, can be an object of great delightful experience for all the senses? Tatraha api tanna shuddhamiti. But that is not pure. Tadapi nashvarattvadibhihi anityam parinama virasam parimitam atinkrishtam api nashuddham apavitram kami kaka sangha aswadyam natu nishkinchana hamsa parishad drishyam api iti artha. First of all, it is anitya, temporary. It has features of being transitory in nature and so on. And on top of it, because it is subject to degrading transformations, it is distasteful. Then on top of it, it is limited. So even though it is very much close by for experience, it is not pure, which means it is contaminated, which further indicates that it is meant to be relished by crow-like lusty souls. It is not even meant to be seen by Nishkinchana, swan-like liberated souls or pure souls. Kimcha, tacha api tvan maya shakti karyatvat, not tvataha anyat. But because that also is an effect of your maya potency, it is not separate from you. He conveys that by saying, Maya guna vyatikarad yadurur vibhasi. Maya gunanam vyatikarad parinamat, by the transformation of the modes of Maya. Uruhu, Swarga, Parameshtya, Sarvabhauma, Adirupaha, Vibhasi. You exhibit yourself in many, many different ways, in the form of Swarga, in the form of the post of Lord Brahma, in the form of the post of an unconquerable emperor in human society, etc. Very nice. It's worth going through all of these commentaries. The highest peak of the ignorance of the living entities who are conditioned by material bodies is that they are unaware of the supreme cause of the cosmic manifestation. Different people have different theories regarding the supreme cause, but none of them are genuine. The only supreme cause is Lord Vishnu, and the intervening impediment to understanding him as such is his illusory energy. The Lord has employed his wonderful material energy in manifesting many, many wonderful distractions in the material world. And the conditioned souls, illusioned by the same energy, are thus unable to know the supreme cause. The most stalwart scientists and philosophers, therefore, cannot be accepted as wonderful. They only appear wonderful because they are instruments in the hands of the illusory energy of the Lord. Under illusion, the general mass of people deny the existence of the Supreme Lord and accept the foolish products of the illusory energy as supreme. One can know the supreme cause, the personality of God, by the causeless mercy of the Lord, which is bestowed upon the Lord's pure devotees like Brahma and those in his disciplic succession. By acts of penance only was Lord Brahma able to see the Garbhodashaya Vishnu, and by realization only could he understand the Lord as he is. Brahma was extremely satisfied upon observing the magnificent beauty and opulence of the Lord, and he admitted that nothing can be comparable to him. Only by penance can one appreciate the beauty and opulence of the Lord, and when one is acquainted with that beauty and opulence, one is no longer attracted by any other. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 2.59. Param drishtva nivartate. Foolish human beings who do not endeavor to investigate the supreme beauty and opulence of the Lord are here condemned by Brahma. It is imperative that every human being strive for such knowledge. And if anyone does not do so, his life is spoiled. Anything that is beautiful and opulent in the material sense is enjoyed by those living entities who are like crows. Crows always engage in picking at rejected garbage, whereas the white ducks do not mix with the crows. Rather, they take pleasure in transparent lakes with lotus flowers surrounded by beautiful orchard. Both crows and ducks are undoubtedly birds by birth, but they are not of the same feather. 2. Rupam yadeta tavabodha rasodayena shashvan nivrittatamasa sadanugrahaya Adav grihitam avatar shatek bijam yannabhipadma bhavanat hamavirasam. The form which I see is eternally free from material contamination and has invented to show mercy to the devotees as a manifestation of eternal potency. This incarnation is the origin of many other incarnations, and I am born from the lotus flower, grown from your navel home. अवरोध रसोदयेन चिच्छक्ति आविर्भावेन शश्वत निवृत्त तमसः शश्वत सदा निवृत्तम तमः यस्मात् तस्य तव. You are always free from tamas because of the manifestation of the spirit, your spiritual potency. Yadetat rupam sat anugrahaya satam upasakhanam anugrahaya grihitam swatantrena tvayaiva avishkritam. By your own independence, you have revealed this form just to favor the saintly worshippers of your Lordship. Avatar Shataika Bijam, Avatar Shatasya Shuddha Sattvatmakasya Yat Ekam Bijam Moolam. You are the root cause of the hundreds of Shuddha Sattva incarnations. Yannabhipadma Bhavanat Yasya Garbhodashayinaha Abhipadmat Aham Avihi Avirbhutaha Asam Abhavat. And from the lotus navel of yourself in the form of Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, I have come about. त्वमपि सम्यक् न जानासि यत् त्वया दृष्टं रूपम् एतदपि गुणात्मकमेव निर्गुणं ब्रह्मैव तु सत्यं तत्र अहरूपमिति द्वाभ्याम्. And then he anticipates the question. No, but you also don't know clearly, fully, because the form that you see, that is certainly a form that is composed of the modes of Maya. And is it not that Nirguna Brahma, attributeless Brahman, that alone is the truth? So, contemplating on this question which he anticipates the Lord would ask, Lord Brahma speaks 2 verses, beginning with the current verse. अवतारशब्दस्य बीजं शुद्धसत्त्वात्मकस्य यद् मूलम्. You are the only cause of the hundreds of incarnations which are actually Shuddha Sattva, pure Sattva, Pradarshanartham. And in order to illustrate that, Gunavatara Bijatvam Darshayati. He points out that the Supreme Lord is the source or is the seed of the Gunavataras. And therefore he talks about himself as having come from uh, the lotus navel of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Rupamiti Yugmakam. This is the double verse. Ado Gunavataranam Agrataha. Grihitam Upatam Satam Abhimukyena Anidam Prakatitam Ityarthaha. So first of all, he talks about the form which has been assumed by the Gunavataras and so on. And this is revealed, these forms are revealed favorably for the saintly devotees. Here, tamas refers to Prakriti itself. 10.14.11. There, tamas refers to Prakriti itself. No, idamapi madiyam rupam adyatanameva. Adyatanatve cha anityameva. अत्र अद्यज्ञातोऽसि इति त्वदुक्तिरेव प्रमाणमिति परिहासं आशङ्क्याः रूपमिति. And then Lord Brahma, he considers that the Lord would be joking with him by saying, but this form is just a form that has been created now. And because it's created now, it is temporary only. And you have only known me like this today. So your own statement is evidence that this form is a temporary form which is only created and manifested right now. Is it not? So anticipating this, he speaks the current verse. Avabodharasaha swarupa bhuta chit-shaktihi tad udayana hetuna shashvat sanatanameva nivrittam tamo maya yasmat tasya tava. You are freed from all material contamination because of the manifestation of your intrinsic spiritual potency. अत्र शश्वत् इत्युक्तेः गृहीतम् आविष्कृतम् इति स्वामित्वः. And you always have forever shashwat nivritta tamasaha, forever freed from material contamination. So therefore, Sridhar Swami says, this form has been revealed by you. Grihitam, the exact word that's used is grihitam. Grihitam literally means accepted. But Sridhar Swami explains, here accepted simply means revealed, accepted as something that you must perceive. It is revealed. Okay. We'll stop at that. Only this much will read out that. The three deities, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara Shiva, the executive heads of the three modes of material nature, passion, goodness, and ignorance, are all generated from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, who is described herein by Brahma. From the Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, many Vishnu incarnations expand at different ages in the duration of the cosmic manifestation. They are expanded only for the transcendental happiness of the pure devotees. The incarnations of Vishnu who appear at different ages and times are never to be compared to the conditioned souls. The Vishnu Tattvas are not to be compared to deities like Brahma and Shiva, nor are they on the same level. Anyone who compares them is called a Pashandi or infidel. Tamasaha mentioned here is the material nature and the spiritual nature as a completely separate existence from Tamaha. Therefore, the spiritual nature is called Avabodha Rasa or Avarodha Rasa. Avarodha means that which completely nullifies. In the transcendence, there is no chance of material contact by any means. Brahma is the first living being. And therefore, he mentions his birth from the lotus flower generated from the abdomen of the Vishayi Vishnu. Okay, let's stop with that. I'll make a note that I have to. Okay, fine. 3.5.3. Okay, so we'll stop with that.